Which group in the California Department of Corrections had the most hustle? What's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. New video. So, in the very beginning of this video, I asked you, which group do you think had the most hustle in the California Department of Corrections? Pause the video right now and leave your comment. Leave your guess. Now, so in the California Department of Corrections, and I'm sure it's the same in every Department of Corrections across this country, there's a lot of different hustles, right? The most lucrative hustle, obviously, is going to be selling dope, right? And after selling dope, it's probably going to be making alcohol, selling alcohol, right? But there's a lot of other things that people do. And we're going to get into that a little bit, right? But let's start from the top. Selling dope, right? I've been honest about, for years behind the walls, I did that, right? And when you're moving dope, there's a lot of obligations and a lot of headaches, and you do get told on regularly, consistently. I know people want to think, oh man, the GP this, GP that. Listen, when you're slinging dope, there's people that spend beyond their means or purchase or get dope beyond their means, and they tell on you ASAP. Dropping kites. Believe me, I know I got kites dropped on me all the time. And a lot of it had to do with dudes that didn't have the money to pay. And they were trying to figure out a way to get out of it, right? So slinging dope is yeah, you can make a lot of money, but the risk is greater than the reward, really. Alcohol, you got to hustle up all the stuff. And then, you know, I ain't gonna lie. After selling dope, maybe even tobacco, selling tobacco it was very lucrative. I never did it. I knew dudes that did, and they had the plug on getting cans of Bugler and packs of Bugler. They would sell a can of Bugler for $1,000. Some places they would sell them for $1,500 for a can. For one of the Bugler pouches, it was like between $100 and $300. I mean, it's good money, and it's the cops catch you with tobacco, you're not going nowhere. Cops catch you with dope, you're going to the shoe. Probably getting a case, possibly. If you're not a lifer, they'll probably pick up a case on you. The alcohol, that was the hustle that I always felt was, and no disrespect to anybody, but that was a low budget hustle, right? Those were guys that, like, I didn't understand, me personally, just from a business mindset, right? I didn't understand why if somebody, they make a batch, right? And some guys would do half and half. They'll make a big batch, and then they'll burn half of it to make white lightning, moonshine, and then sell a mixed drink, you know, or make their alcohol super strong because they'll put a shot of that white lightning in it. But they do it different ways, right? I never understood why after they hit 2 or 3 batches, they get good money out of it. Why they didn't just hop over to slinging dope. But it could be because, again, there's a lot of obligations. Now, I want to get to the group. I want to answer the question that I posed. Some of you I already know got it right, especially those of you that have been behind the walls. And I'm going to give you a hint. Who are the hardest workers out here in the free world? The paisans. Not only do they bust their ass out here, they get behind the walls. Let me tell you something. You give them a soup bag, the packet that the soups come in, right? You give them the empty chip bags. These guys can build you a tower that you can put your pictures in. They can make it hearts on top of hearts on top of hearts, and they can hold 7, 8 different pictures. These guys get the thread from the pants, from the jumpsuits, from different places. They find these different colors, and they can make you a ring with your kid's name on it, with your lady's name on it, with your name on it. They make you necklaces, bracelets. And it's a hustle where nobody gets hurt. They also, I've seen paisas. They're the only ones that I really saw. Maybe it's just because of who I went to. They would open up a store. They'd get, their family, somebody to send them $50, right? And they'd buy $50 because the state's going to provide hygiene to you, and you can also get it from the kitty. The raza. If you need something, hey, you know who to go to. Hey, Holmes, you think I can get a bar or something? Just no problem here, Holmes. What else you need? Right? So they spend that $50 that they got, and they had a plan. This is the thing. They have a plan, and they go to the store and they spend $50 on candies, especially like the buddy bars, right? But on candies, maybe a jar of coffee, 2 jars of coffee, right? Then they let it be known they're opening up a store, 2 for 1. Somebody ran out of something. Oh, hey, you know what? I heard homeboy just opened a store. Boom. Tell the porter, hey, I need a jar of coffee. Cool. He's gonna give you a jar of coffee, write you down. When you go to store, you're gonna give him 2 jars. You need a box of buddy bars. You need some type of candy. Cool. Write you down. When you go to store, you're paying double. You're gonna give him 2 of those, right? So the next month, and remember, in California Department of Corrections, there's 3 different draws: first, second, and third. So he could give a dude a jar of coffee that's going to store next week. So that $50 turned into 100 like that. Guess what he does? He puts that 100 back into the store. And then the next month, that 100 turned into 2, and maybe even more, depending on how he's hustling, right? Because like I said, he gives somebody something a week later, he gets it back. So now it can't be just a $100 profit. He doesn't just double. Now he's getting in a triple, quadruple. And I've seen dudes that they're running their stores so smooth that you may run up a debt with them, and your debt may be $200, right? And you owe third draw. We're barely at first draw. You already owe him $200 for third draw, right? But his store is so smooth now, it's running like clockwork, that he's gonna tell you, hey, look, Holmes, I got love for you, man. You owe me $200 third draw? He said, yeah, I do, Holmes. I got you though. Don't trip. No. Check this out. This is what I'm gonna do for you. Go ahead and send me $100 cash, and I'll squash the other 100. Dudes jump on that. They're like, yeah, he just broke off 100. So imagine his store is running like that, and every month he does that with 2 or 3 people. Now he's collecting real cash, and he's still got his cell full of whatever. It's a pretty ingenious way to live, man. And that's one of the things I want to start. I was thinking about it this morning. I want to start trying to focus on showing the ingenuity, not just the savagery and the brutality of prison. And, I'll be honest that one of the reasons why I never told any of the stories about the ingenuity behind those walls is I don't want people thinking that anything about prison is cool. At the same time, I think especially right now, with the way things are going in the world, I think it's lightweight motivational to know that guys that are doing life, guys that have no family, nothing, are able to figure out how to hustle and how to live on their own means and not live off for other people. And that should motivate people out here where whatever's going on with your business, whatever's going on at work, or maybe you don't have work right now, you can make it happen, right? These guys are in the worst situations. They don't let it break them. They're motivated by it. You know, a lot of these dudes are too prideful to ask anybody for anything anyways. So they get a break. Somebody gives them something and boom, they turn it into where they don't ever have to ask. 20 years down the line, they're still not asking nobody for nothing. Instead, they're providing. They're sending money off of their books to their kids, to their wives, to their families, supporting them from behind the walls. I think people don't understand that there are a lot of men behind those walls. However they're getting their money, regardless of how they're getting their money, they're sending money out to the streets. I did it for years. They're looking out for their loved ones the best that they can. So that's my video for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Everybody, please be safe, be smart, and tell the ones you love that you love them. I'm out of here.